Allard's neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, it's another great week in the Burleson, Johnson County area. I have Beth Lytner here today, friends of the library. We're going to talk about what they got going on, plus some of the stuff going on at the library itself. And it's just going to be a swell day. How you doing, Josh?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
You know what's really bugging me, since you asked?
What's up?
You know, when the trees start budding out, it puts that little green dust everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I washed my car, and 2 days later, there you go. Oh, hello, Aaron. See Beth there? That's where you'd see the questions right there. And Aaron is a routine listener. Thank you, Aaron, for all you do for this community. Doggone it. Anyway, it's got my wife all clogged up, and me too a little bit, but her is so bad. So, Miss Lytner, how you doing today?
I'm doing so great. Yeah. It's nice to be here on a Monday morning.
Is this your first podcast?
My first ever.
Oh, well, that's going to be fine.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a newbie.
A newbie. Well, you know, that's good because, you know, a lot of people come on and they say, oh, my Lord, it's going to be a big deal. But, you know, you start talking and it just, you forget about everything. And I start rambling. And, you know, it's going to be a great week. Hopefully get some rain.
Oh,
you know,
yes,
Lord.
yes. Fingers crossed.
My garden, you know,
hands
keep
folded.
it up. But my garden could use some rain.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a gardener. I have a vegetable garden that's a little bit bigger than the size of this room. You know,
yeah.
It keeps me off the streets.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sponsors because they make all this happen. And you probably know some of these sponsors. Our Place Restaurant.
Yeah, one of my favorite places.
Yeah, you've been there more than one. Everybody knows this place. You know, I don't think I've had a guest yet who goes, I've never heard of it. You know,
I've got a favorite breakfast.
What is it?
I love their veggie omelet.
You know,
with a side of grits. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I have breakfast every other Monday morning with the guys in my Sunday school class, and there's a guy always gets a veggie omelet, and another one always gets a bowl of grits. And so, yeah, and I said, you know, I'm going to try it. But it's like when I go there for lunch or for breakfast, it's like I like what I like. I should be more, you know, open to other choices on the menu, but I like what I like. You know, I go there for lunch. I like the chicken fried steak. I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So there you go. Also, Gina's Pizza. That's another great place. Mm-hmm. When I do podcast related to business, you know, take sponsor care or trying to, you know, maybe meet a new sponsor or just whatnot, I'll go to Gina's Pizza. So,
oh, cool.
What's good pizza? You know, get yourself a hot dog for lunch. It really is a nice place. And Otto is a good community citizen. He does a lot of great things for this community. So I'm real happy to have him as a sponsor. Speaking of which, here I got the website here. Also, my friend John Williams at Old Pro Roofing. Pay attention. I'm trying to do two things at once. Old Pro Roofing. They're here in town. You know, there's a lot of roofers, and I get it, and I have no problem with people making a living. But you want somebody that's in town, in case you know you need them in a hurry, or you want to find them and they're somewhere else. You know, something like that. So I recommend him greatly. John Williams is a very nice young man, very pleasant. You know, and when he comes to do your inspection, he's not going to give you some routine about, oh my Lord, your roof's falling in. He's not going to upsell you. He'll tell you, hey, your roof's fine, if it's fine. So call him at 817-734-2756. And it's supposedly like we were hoping it might rain. It's a bad time to find out your roof has got a hole in it, you know, or something like that.
Yes, I have been there.
Have you now?
Not much fun.
You know, but I don't know if you remember this about 4 years ago in August, we had this tremendous storm. And I found out that the flashing around my chimney was loose, and then it was starting to leak into the house. So I had John come out there and take a look because I was afraid, do I have a hole in the roof or something? No, it's just this flashing. They fixed it in 2 minutes, and there you go. And so it wasn't so it wasn't a real big deal, really. But they didn't make a big deal out of it. So again, 817-734-2756. Also, my friend Jeff Kelly at the Wethington Agency, 817-781-0546. You know, if you're looking to buy or sell in this area, you need to talk to Jeff because he knows it. He and I and one other coming up are members of the networking group, BNI. And so he tells us about, he has listings, he has homes in this area. He kind of keeps us up to date on what's going on in the real estate market, and you hear things or read things or whatever. And Burleson's still pretty good. And we're still growing. So 817-781-0546 or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com he's also very pleasant. You're going to spend time with a real estate guy, so you want to enjoy his company. And he does these really funny jokes on Facebook. He does like a joke of the day and has a very dry delivery. Also, you may have met this gentleman, Rod Lewis, the Burleson News Express.
Yes.
If you ever need to get an article about the Friends of the Library, what you got going on, he's a good guy to talk to because he needs content and he also needs sponsors. And so he and I are kind of swapping ads, so to speak. I promote him, he promotes me.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think he's coming to speak to our Rotary Club in a couple of weeks, maybe. I put a bug in his ear.
So you're in the Rotary Club along with Miss Megan there? He's your president?
Well, actually, Miss Megan is the upcoming president.
Upcoming president, okay.
Starting in July. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Well, I had her as a student and I've known her parents, her late father and her mom. I've known the Hollowell family forever. And I keep calling her Hollowell, even though it's swear engine, right? That's
right.
Occupational hazard from us old teachers. We call our female students by their maiden names, even if they've been married 30 years and have 2 or 3 kids or whatever. We're old. But anyway, back to Rod and News Express. You can get this in several different locations. I know at the library you can get it. You can get it at the Senior Citizen Center. You can get it at Daydream Coffee. You can get it at several of the nail and hair salons. You can get it at a couple of the mechanics I know. And so it's like, I think he told me it's 24 different outlets. And so he's looking to expand the number of prints that he can produce and even make it even more widespread. How long have you lived in Burleson?
I have been here since 2004.
Okay, so prior to that we had the Burleson Star.
Yes.
And then when it went out, we really didn't have a lot of local news. My podcast was built in part because of the lack of local news. That and my wife wanted me out of the house. But
a nice combination.
Yeah, well, see, when I retired from teaching, it's like, I got nobody to rant to. And she said, why don't you make money from it? Leave me alone. And so here I am. But anyway, so if you have an opportunity to pick up a copy and see what you got. Also, these people came out to my house just this morning, True Climate, a couple of young men. Mm-hmm. Well, I got onto their yearly plan. It's $99, and they came out to inspect my air conditioner because I want to make sure before it really gets hot, it works. And they were very professional. I mean, really were. I mean, a lot of people, like my wife and among other people, get a little bit antsy about it, strangers in the house, right?
Understand.
Yeah, but they make it as comfortable as possible. They before they showed up, they sent us a text with the picture of the guy that's going to be there.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, and they were both, very well spoken young men. Didn't waste time. So call them at 682-244-2019. I can now, vouch for them personally, not just because they're sponsors, but I use their service. I've used John. Mm-hmm. And I go to, like I said, autos. So far, I haven't had to buy a house, but if I do, I'm going to Jeff. But the point is that, one thing I like about my sponsors is I can recommend them not just as a business, but as people. I've known Will Cobb and his sister Emily Cobb for a long time, and another ex-student. So There you go.
Well, it's hard to survive in Texas summers without some good cooling.
No kidding. I often, I'm a history buff, whatever, and I'm thinking, how did these guys survive in the 1890s or something? Because, you hear about these, heat waves going on like 102 degrees, and there was no air conditioning in 1890. So they're a lot tougher than I am.
100 degrees in the shade.
Yeah, right. Now, as far as yourself, the Friends of the Library, they're built to do what precisely?
Well, the Friends are a 501c3, all volunteer organization. Mm-hmm. They've been around since '89. So we're not new to the game, but I will tell you that we have revved up our energy in the last couple of years.
I've noticed more of a presence, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I knew of Friends of the Library because being in the educational system, you know what's going on in the library a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed a lot more profile, shall we say. Mm-hmm. It's not just a booster club kind of thing. I mean, y'all do other things for the library.
Right. Well, just a little background on me. The reason I came here in 2004 is the city invited me to come and be their library director.
Really?
So I was the library director for about 3 years, and enjoyed my time with the city very much, and made my home here for all these years, longer than I've lived anywhere in my life. So really? I like this community. I worked as a financial advisor for about 15 years. And when I retired, I looking around, things for do, just like you. And I sat in on that presentation to City Council about the long-range plan for the library. And some people got kind of excited about it. But I was sitting in that meeting, and I had a eureka moment. I thought, they need some help. And I am in a unique position to help them. So I started studying what it would be to create a foundation to support the library. And then after about 6 months of some great interest, some great people involved, I realized that I was going down the wrong path for me at that time. So I decided to plug myself into the Friends of the Library, gently, very gently, in a human way, but just to start to bring some ideas to them. Now, I have to say, they already turned the corner, I think, on great ideas and great volunteers. So I only added to what the strength they were already building. But together, I think we are starting to really see some momentum. We've tripled our membership, which is a small way to make some money. And we've greatly increased our fundraising.
You said it's a 501, all right? It's a charitable outfit.
It is actually a charitable outfit, yes.
So it is tax deductible, right?
Absolutely, it surely
okay.
is.
See, a lot of people say, "Oh, I love what you do," but is it tax deductible?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we accept individual members and as well business members.
Corporate members, okay.
We have started adding some corporate members, and anyway, we've got a ways to go to do what we'd like to do. But that's just a little bit why I'm showing up here at your Monday morning to talk to you about the library.
Well, what does the funding go towards? I mean, it's not just y'all are helping the library with things that are outside the budget, I assume, because the budget I know is very tight.
The budget is always very tight.
Yes.
And one thing the Friends have taken on as a responsibility for several years is to fund all the wonderful summer reading programs. So those programs cost money, and it's been at minimum $2,000 for quite a while, probably $3,000, and more recently, I think closer to $5,000 to get those programs and the crafts and all of those kinds of things. And that's not directly in the library budget. So we always have taken the responsibility of that.
Well, see, you may not know this. A lot of people didn't know it apparently because I had a radio station and it just wasn't working for me. But I would try to make as part of it weekly announcements what's going on in the community, including the library. And it seems like every week, particularly in the summertime, there was something more than one thing going on. It was like Tuesday afternoon for this, Wednesday afternoon that, if Thursday night movie or something like that. There's all sorts of programs going on. I have known some of my former students that are younger parents. They spend a lot of time in that library because they got to do some of those kids, right? And so they will go and do stuff with them.
And if young parents are new to the community, and that happens time to time, they can go there, and while their kids are getting entertained and learning a little bit more about the stories, the moms, the dads can sit in the back and have a conversation and build some friendships, build community.
Well, one of the city council members, Victoria Johnson, always talk about when her children were even smaller, like one was a toddler still.
Yes.
They had like toddler time or something like that.
Yes.
And, programs for that particular, 2 to 3 year old age group, as opposed to, when people think of libraries, at least in big city libraries, I think of, all these books and it's real quiet and it's real, but basically I've been in that library and it's pretty active. We particularly got some kid craft thing going on. And they would have all sorts of, they're all literary connected, but it isn't strictly just about, here, open book and read, leave me alone. It's interactive.
It is definitely interactive. Yes. Little children learn by handling things and manipulating things. So they have several activities and make it fun to come to the library and learn. You know.
Yes, it is. Okay, and you got a website here. Okay, this is from the city of Burleson. Some of the programs there.
Yes.
Family Movie Day. We got coming up Saturday on 2:00. What's the movie?
The Wilder Robot.
Oh boy, that sounds provocative.
I don't know that.
I don't know.
Maybe I should go see it.
Well, it's PG, and we're not going to be showing some weird gross movie at there, Games of Thrones or whatever something like that.
No, strictly fun stuff.
Oh yeah, family wholesome entertainment. That's always a good thing. And see, and I would pull up the website for the library and from the city and all this, and I was also not surprised isn't the word I want to use, but it was just I noticed that you had a lot of things that were appropriate for the season, and let's put it that way. Spring, Easter, Memorial Day, 4th of July, things of that nature.
Yes.
They were connected to that in some manner, and it was. I just thought,
the staff do a fabulous job.
Well, I've been living here a long time, and my kids are, they're in their 30s. All right. So, but when they were little, we didn't really have this active a library. And plus, I live outside of town by half a mile or a quarter mile. So I couldn't be a member unless I want to pay. And so, but the library back in the early 90s was just a collection of books. And they would have maybe reading clubs, and they did some stuff, but nothing like they do now. Nothing like the interactive crafts, and and I remember watching some sort of a Valentine's program, that for kids that really don't have anywhere else to go. And so I would have liked that for my kids when they were younger. I could have taken them to the library.
Sure, there's a place they belong. They feel comfortable.
Well, we kind of used one of the Barnes and Nobles as a library. There was one in downtown Fort Worth, if you remember.
I surely do. Big old thing. I miss it.
I miss it too. And I'd get some coffee and we'd go up to the kids area and they would, read a book or whatever else. And that's kind of what happens here. I've been told that, if they got nothing better going on, let's go to the library and see what they got, and you pick out a book to read, and I'll have a little coffee, or I'll, talk with a friend.
Yeah. Libraries have become a sort of a different spot than they used to be.
Much different.
And times do change. And, you got, I'll just make this point of, you got a particular building size and shape. And as technology comes along and, social culture change, sometimes you need to make some changes, that it's hard to make, but the staff is doing a fabulous job of making the most of the space and resources they have.
Well, when I was teaching at the high school and we were doing some stuff that would require a little research or whatever else, I would send them to the library because they had the technology already. They had, connections to the internet and all this, and not every one of my students did.
Yes.
Most of them do now because it's pretty common, but back say 20 years ago, I would say maybe a quarter of my students did not have home internet. So if they couldn't do it at school, they had a hard time doing it anywhere. So I'd send them to the library, and they were very, very helpful.
Yes.
And, I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid, my mom would take me to the library because I like to read a lot.
Yes.
And then later when I was in high school and a little bit in college, I would use the public library.
Yes. Well, it's also the staff are trained with safe place training, so they're prepared for, challenges or difficulties that might come that way, or a runaway, or just to be aware of different challenging situations that people might be in, and they can help out.
I had one of the representatives on the show about 4 years ago, and I didn't realize just how many spots were safe space spots, like the QT gas stations and such as that.
Yes.
And so I'm glad to hear that we do that. It didn't surprise me at all. I mean, I figured probably that, and all the fire stations and police stations are also safe spaces.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I can go in Starbucks and sit there, but they really kind of want me to buy something.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on anybody, but
Starbucks is good to pick on them.
There's very few places that a person can go and just sit and be comfortable out of the weather, out of the elements. either they're traveling or waiting on someone or something like that.
Well,
And the library is one of those places.
Right. There's a couple of places in town that if I just want to go hang for about an hour, and I go to Daydream Coffee over in Old Town because the owner's, again, another former student. And it's a nice, quiet place, and you can, nobody bugs you, and you can read. I like to take something physical to read, though. I mean, scrolling on the phone, it's fine, great. I'm not going to get into all that dialogue. I'll let Josh's generation, have their minds warped by this technology.
Excuse me.
But I like to. That's why I'm glad that Rod is putting out that newspaper, because you're sitting there waiting for your oil to be changed or something like that. It's nice to have something tangible in your hands.
That's right.
And same thing with the library.
That's right.
And besides, I collect books. I collect history books.
Fabulous.
Not history textbooks. Those are, I have no use for those. But no, I have about 800 of them. I have a big library space.
Yes.
We closed in a patio, made a library out of it. and so I'm very, very keen on books, quite a bit. It's a lost art.
Well, I'm glad you are still keen on books, and actually the library of the books, the materials they circulate every year, people say, well, they're just downloading the technology. Well, they are downloading the technology, but it's only a quarter of their circulation. They still, by far, circulate way more books.
Sure.
Way more books.
I think y'all had a book sale not that long ago. It's about a year ago, maybe.
Well, I tell you what, there are times through the year where we do have a bag of books sale, yes. Right. But here's the wonderful thing that we have discovered. We have an ongoing sale. Every single day you come in, you can buy some books at a discount price. Now, coming up in early April, I think it's the 16th, around the 11th, 16th, somewhere right in there, you can get that bag of books where you can get even a better bargain. I'll come up with those dates here in just one second.
Do you select the books yourself?
Those books are all donated books.
Well, it's not like a bag, and you open it up, it's surprise.
Yeah. No, I think they give you a bag and you put your books in there.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
It's like, okay, this is Peruvian architecture. Hey, where's this going? So it's
that's a different idea that we could get a surprise
bag. Yeah. Well, I've been. It's been a while, but I went to one of those, and I got a couple of books, and then of course.
Thank you. That's another way we're raising money a little bit better with the Friends of the Library right now.
Because a lot of those books would probably end up being destroyed otherwise if they weren't sold and then recirculated.
Well, the volunteers that do that, and it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm doing other things. And we can kind of differentiate a little bit. But the people that do that, they're very careful about curating the books. They don't put everything out. They only put things that they think will be welcomed and bought. So that's a positive thing. And we have two other resources for books that you don't see there. We sell to a consignment place for things that might be a little more valuable, hoping we get a couple more dollars for.
Sure.
And then things that we don't use, I believe they take them to the veterans, so then the veterans can have benefit of our volunteerism as well. So
you don't take them to a half-price bookstore or anything like that?
I don't know that that's a path that they've taken, but I don't know the pluses or minuses or whys or therefores. So,
I wouldn't know either.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
I have been in some library book sales other than our own. And you can get some collections there that are hard to find sometimes.
Yes.
I tell you, I don't know if UTA still has this, but when I was a grad student at UTA back in the late 80s and throughout early 90s, I would go in there to do research. This is well before the internet days, before Al Gore invented the internet or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But some of those books were like over 110 years old or whatever. I mean, and some of them were pre-Civil War editions. I'm like, what are they doing on these shelves here? These are collector's items, even if it's not like signed by Thomas Jefferson or something like that.
Yes.
Any book that's from like the 1820s, they need to preserve it, not just have it out there on the random selections.
Yes. Well,
So
then you bring up a good point. I do know this about the library. two things. We do have a book budget. The library itself has a book budget every year, but it's small. And if you'll think about the logic of this, it takes space to house books.
Yes.
And in a public library, the only books you can afford to keep on the shelves are the popular ones, the ones that are circulating. So they have a process to determine that. And if books aren't meeting that criteria, then they go in order to give space for the new books, that are being published. So it's a constantly moving collection.
How do y'all decide?
If we were just a little bigger, if we had more space that meets the needs of our population, then we could actually reserve, they would have more room to reserve some classics on the shelf, so to speak.
Yes.
And keep them. But at the current size of the library, I'll make a point about that in a minute.
Oh, well,
But
I know what the point is that we need more space. And there's no question about it. I know we got budget issues. I know, you talk to the city council people and they all to a person agree with you. And
I do. And I've spoken to each one of them. They're fabulous. I don't have any struggle with them. But if you are planning a library, ideally, in the ideal world, that's 1 square foot per capita. Then the library we have was approximately the correct size when it was built 30 years ago.
Right.
And it is short of the space needed at this time.
Very much so. Very much so. And I would like to see us build a new library. I know what the budget constraints are and all this. So I'm not really blaming the city council for not coming through.
Not at all.
Because they got to patch the streets and, pay the fire and police and all that. But I think the citizens of Burleson who don't use a library think, basically it's a quiet, dead place. And I'm telling you, that place is very active. And I've seen it. It's not like I hear about it. I see it. And the kids, again, when I was teaching school and I'd send kids over there, they would talk about that's a pretty good place to find resources. When we had a library at the high school course, and about every year they'd circulate the books, and it basically the librarian say, here, because she knew like the history books, and she'd say, here, go choose 3 or 4 of those. How do y'all decide what criteria to use to buy the books? What's
Well, no, I'm not in the loop on that any longer. But
you were at one time, were you not?
There are a number of reviews that people look at that give you some guidance, and then you have to look at your population, what is working the most. I mean, we know the children need, to have. We want to prioritize the kids, but we also prioritize the interests of the adults. So part of it is a guessing game. You're guessing what somebody might want to read from the shelf, but current bestsellers and different topics. But, with a collection our size, we can't serve every single need.
No, not possible. And libraries are under stress anyway. I know downtown Fort Worth Library was closed a while back, and I had used that library too. And I thought it was a very fine library, the one down on Taylor Street.
Yes.
And now I think they'll repurpose it for something else. I think somebody bought it and they're going to, I don't know, condominium.
Sometimes it's all about dollars and dollars, and that's not necessarily the cents, but maybe some sense.
I like it. A good pun. Well, I'll volunteer to help them choose the nonfiction books.
Well, all right. Here we go.
Because
what topics do you want to look for?
In my collection, I have biographies, histories, political science related books, because that's what I do as a living. I teach at DBU still.
Oh, right.
And so I haven't read a piece of fiction in a long time, and a lot of people think that's unfortunate, but I read nonfiction right now. I'm in the middle of a book that's part of a series on the American Revolution. It's current. Yeah. And also my wife and I have some old books that really are just there for collector's sake or decorative purposes or whatever. But I mean, they're not just pretty books. I'm not going to. You go to some of these bookstores and they'll have these like books for decorating, and they're like 1895 Scottish law books or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Or medical records from Louisiana from the 1920s. But they look nice, and so.
Yes.
But I don't mess with that. I mean, everything I'll buy, I think, could I actually see myself opening up?
Sure.
And we got some books that are pretty old.
Well, I'm a nonfiction girl myself as well. When I first retired, someone invited me to come and speak to her garden club about growing orchids. And I thought, I don't know anything about growing orchids. I've got lucky with a couple in my kitchen, I mean, what do I know? So I just started digging in to see what the library had, what I could get on growing orchids. The books told me there was an orchid society in Fort Worth, so I joined that. And that was my little journey with the books there in the library.
Now, you brought some materials with you. So what do you got there?
Well, I've got a couple of things. I've got the library's strategic plan, beautiful book with plenty of pictures and some numbers. And for people that like pictures, they'll be happy, and people that have numbers, they'll be happy too.
Didn't we? You sent us a couple of pictures of the shelving, and am I correct in saying you're trying to upgrade the shelving?
Yes,
Okay.
the little children, when they're looking for a book, they're not going to pick it by what's on the spine of the book.
Right.
So that's the that's the current shelving that you're looking at there, and it's worked for 30 years.
Sure.
But it's time to replace it. And we are trying to raise some money at the Friends, and we've had some luck, and I'll tell you some more about that. They're called browsing bins. So they're face forward, so the really gorgeous picture front of the book the kids would be attracted to can be there. And they can group the books by dinosaurs instead of by the book author. Dinosaurs, trucks, the things that kids want to read about.
Right.
And that makes it a lot more fun. So even though it might not be fully replacing the amount of books that can go on there, we expect the circulation to go up quite a bit.
Well, sure. I mean, going back to those Barnes and Noble days with my kids, and they're like 7 and 4. That's how they picked a book. They didn't say, "Oh, this is the latest from this particular author." No, they didn't care. It's a pretty picture, right? Or it's a something that they might be interested in. Something like that.
Yeah.
And that you talk about fundraising. Besides just membership, do you have a fundraiser coming up?
We do. We've got two different. Well, first of all, the Friends are trying to help the library purchase this shelving. It's over $40,000 for the shelving that's needed. The Friends have upfront committed the two grants. Let me step back just a tiny hair.
Sure.
I told you early that the Friends have every year supported the summer reading program. Well, this year's different. We still will, because it will flow through the Friends of the Library 501c3. But I'm going to give a heads up to Atmos Energy, because they have granted us the full amount for the summer reading program this year.
That's nice.
Yes, it is very exciting. And they gave another $10,000 toward our browsing bins. So the Friends have committed, and probably will do more, but at least $5,000 toward the browsing bins. So we've got a great start on helping the library purchase the browsing bins. And there's a library giving week coming up, the first full week of April. And Library Giving Days, you're reading something about it there.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
And last year was the first year we participated with North Texas Libraries, sponsored by HEB and several others. And we raised quite a bit of money last year, $6,000. But this year, you can give in mind with the browsing bins for the library. It's over and above the library budget at this time.
Okay.
So it's pretty exciting.
So if let's say hopefully somebody hears this and wants to contribute, how would they get a hold of you?
I don't see it on what you're showing, but we do have a QR code for them to give to the
Friends of the Library?
The through the library giving days.
Okay.
That's going to go through a different channel, and then it will come exactly to the Friends of the Library 501c3.
Right. Here's browsing bins for children's books, and so there's a donor site. It looks like
There is.
Yep.
Now it says 0, and I think a different place on the website they'll show that so far $15,000 have been raised for the browsing bins.
That's really that's pretty good. I mean, that's $40,000 is a lot of money, but I think it's worth it if it includes the children in reading. Because I could tell you as a teacher, learning loss over the summer is a real thing. All right, Josh has suffered from it for years, and so is that right? Anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I thought you meant the city of Joshua.
No, I meant this guy here. No. City of
Sorry.
Joshua. No, to be real honest, Joshua, when I moved here, was kind of like an old country town. Now they got an excellent school system.
I know they do.
Very good, and they come on the show about once every 5 or 6 weeks. So
Fantastic.
So I'm going to be nice to them, certainly. But no, I have a great. I could promise you, when we were school teaching over at Burleson High School, we'd look down the street at Joshua like it's the promised land because they paid a little bit more and they seem to have it going on and all this other stuff. So no, I have nothing but high regard for Joshua ISD. But no, I met Josh, the computer jockey over here. But no, learning loss is a real thing because every year it started off new. And I had juniors and seniors, and a lot of them were in advanced classes, but still they had picked up a book all summer probably. It just... Society is different because of the internet. There's no question about it. The idea of reading a book is fairly alien to a lot of people under a certain age.
It is. But it's still a good habit.
It's a great habit. It keeps your mind sharp or whatever. You don't get on the web and waste time, whatever, scrolling around, playing games, whatnot. I'm not one of these old cranks, once I ran and rave about the good old days. But in the good old days, reading was more valued, I think, by the younger people.
Yes. And reading is critical, but, the library does several other things in addition to reading now, which makes it lots more fun. You may know this or not, but they have a 3D printing machine.
I've heard that, yes.
And you can just send your project electronically, send it over there.
Gosh.
All the students.
Can you imagine?
All the ones, they just have to pay for the materials. That's it. Just a few cents for their project to be sent over there. My grandson wanted to print a dragon, and he probably did it. I don't know. But it's just a really great resource.
That's amazing
for the community. You can check out board games. You can check out picnic equipment. You can check out a fishing rod. They call it the Library of Things.
I've heard that because I know Victoria told me that she one time had checked out some picnic stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, don't you have your own? She goes, well, yeah, but this is right there. We went across the street to Warren Park, did a thing. Then right back to the library with it, and no big deal, right? You have to haul all this gear around.
Fun.
Yeah, it's a good way to do business, I think. That's what I'm really proud about our communities. We have a lot of people willing to do these kind of things, like the Friends of the Library, to help support the community as a whole. I mean, I do a lot of shows of nonprofits, and we'll be doing one next week with our friend Megan and Next Step and all that.
Well,
and we are blessed with these kind of people.
And you mentioned
that
car show that's coming up. It's going to benefit Megan's organization, actually.
Yes.
And the Friends of my Burleson, my Rotary Club, the Midday Rotary Club, is sponsoring it.
Yeah, there we go. At the end of the show, in about 10 minutes, we talk about what's going on in the nonprofit world, and this is one of the things we brought up. And people in this town love old cars. They love old cars because about every big event, if they have multiple events going on, they'll have an old cars section, kind of like City on the Hill with Lisa Schwartz. Excuse me. And people, they'll show up for this. Now it's $30 to enter your car. Josh, you going to enter your car?
Absolutely not.
You know what?
I
Come on.
don't think that beat up Honda CRV is going to go far.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, but in our neighborhood, there's a couple of guys that own these kind of cars and drive around the neighborhood and like,
Well, I hope lots of people will come out
they
and
will.
participate. I'm encouraging it, even though it's not benefiting my charity. It's benefiting someone in my Rotary Club, and in a general way, and there's nothing specific yet, but the two Rotary clubs in this town cooperate quite often, and I'm hoping we're talking about them helping the library in some way.
well, good. Well, this is going for next step particularly, but here's what's going to happen. Being where it is, it's Old South parking lot, right?
Oh yeah,
And so people are going to drive by, maybe not even heard
I
this.
believe it's in the church parking lot.
Church parking lot.
Let me be sure about that.
Let me be sure too.
Pathway.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's at the Pathway Tarrant. It's at Pathway Church. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I told Old South. But anyway, people are going to drive by there and they'll see all these people hanging around old cars, and they may or may not have heard about this and go, "Oh, I want to see go look at old cars." You'll get plenty of people, believe me. Because every time I've gone to any kind of event that had old cars being shown off, it was a big deal.
Very exciting.
All right, so it's over in the Pathway parking lot.
Yes.
As far as other fundraising stuff, I mean, y'all have events like some of these other groups do, or is it pretty much you rely upon people donating and that kind of thing?
We rely upon that ongoing book sale more than anything. We're finding new avenues. Like I said, Atmos is now, contributing to us. I applied for another grant yesterday. I won't mention who with, but this is a new avenue. The Friends have not necessarily looked for grants in the past, but there's not particularly a grant writer for the city, Adam said, and the library needs grant writing. So we don't exactly know what we're doing, but we're doing the best we can to come up with fundraising, and I think we're going to get better and better at it.
Oh, sure. Experience will teach you all this. Back in Burleson ISD days, I don't know if they still do, but they did for a while have somebody on staff that did nothing but write grants, and people would say, wow, that's just another administrative, whatever. And they're like, if that person gets one grant for the school system, they paid for their salary.
That's right. That's right.
And so, the money they brought in well more than paid for the salary and benefits of this one particular person. And it's like, I just wish people understood that,
Yes.
Because how much every time you get a grant, that's money that the city didn't have to lay out.
And we're getting some very generous members that want to be members at a higher level, and that's super apprecited. You can be a member of the Friends whether you live in the city or not.
Okay.
And
you're talking to me, aren't you?
Yeah, but you and lots of others. And as well, you don't have to volunteer if you join the Friends. You're welcome to, but you don't have to volunteer.
A lot of the nonprofit groups have like recurring donations every month. Do y'all have that kind of setup?
We are working toward that goal.
Okay. Well, that I can promise you that'll help a bunch, because almost everybody that I talk about, you talk to Megan, you talk to my friends over at House of Hope here in town, or Promises or Harvest House. Yeah, they'll be glad to take a nice check with tears in their eyes, but it's those monthly donors that make the difference. Last Thursday, I had the Center for ASD, which I bet y'all have connections with, because I bet they use your library.
Lisa is a very dear friend of mine, and yes, we have a special connection to the library with their students. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and they were here Thursday talking about their upcoming Light Up the Night, which we'll talk about in about 2 minutes. And, they'll tell you that it's the monthly donors that make the difference, because you can budget that way.
Yes.
And if you can have a sufficient monthly donor base that you can budget, everything that comes on top of that, it helps you, even more so. You don't have to pay bills with that. You can do things with that. Do y'all have like a location y'all meet at?
We meet at the library.
At the library, that's what I thought. I mean, but you don't have like a separate building or anything like that.
No, there is a outbuilding from the library that we use, but obviously it's City of Burleson property.
That's what I thought. I didn't expect y'all to have like a storefront in Old Town or something like that, but I figured if somebody wants to come to your meetings, when do y'all meet?
We meet on the first Wednesday of the month at 10 o'clock in the library conference room. And anybody would be welcome.
How many people normally show up for that?
Oh, we have between 8 and a dozen.
And these are, people that have time to commit to the library.
They are. But our membership is at 75.
Really?
Yeah. So we have great number more members than we have volunteers
And,
that meet at those meetings.
do you have a goal in mind of how many members you want? Besides, like, as many as you want.
I'd like,
1,000, huh?
I'd like to hit 100 in the short term, and we'd like it to grow. We're having annual meetings that are trying to be more and more interesting to draw people, and we're sponsoring various programs. We had one on Texas, the mums, for that. So that was just one fun idea. We'll probably have lots of other different ones.
Well, I want to reiterate to the listeners, particularly those with kids, you need to avail yourself of the library this summer because, first of all, you don't want the kids just to be staring at the television or at the screen all the time. One of the things that has helped with, like, Alley Cats and others coming in, they get, activities, but for, a long, long time, really, if they were involved in some sort of church program or whatever, they weren't getting out. And they need to, this is a great way for young parents in particular to extend their kids' education. When my kids are smaller, in the summertime, my wife and I would buy them, workbook kind of things to keep them active. And, they grumbled and mumbled like all kids will, but they did them. And I think it helped them going into the school year that their brains hadn't gone to jello over the last 2 months. And we're still having problems with that because of COVID. That's still a learning loss issue. A lot of our kids are behind. And we can rely on the schools only so much to catch them up. So,
and parents can participate in the summer reading program too.
Well, yeah,
we've got fabulous dinner coupons and freebies for everybody that participates.
Well, we've been talking about it as almost kid-centric, but you have adult users for those books as well.
Sure
they're
do.
It's not all kids' books.
Yeah, there's wine tasting coupons in the package this year.
Now we're talking. All right.
Exactly.
So there's a difference between wine tasting and wine swigging, and that's what I'm more interested in. But whatever. Let's run through some of the nonprofit stuff we got going on here. We got a bunch going on, like we mentioned. We have the Walk for Life coming up on the 18th. Summer was telling us about it. Summer Garcia's part of my B&I group, and she was telling us all about it. And this is a big deal. It's been a big deal for a long time. It's over at their location on Tarrant, and there's the QR code for donations and whatnot. They basically are looking for people to sponsor. If you're walking, get people to sponsor you and that kind of thing. And it's an 80s theme, as it shows there.
Cute kid.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Megan's got a lot of imagination. And she does really good. They have this and their big gala in October is their big fundraiser. Okay, and also we do have Light Up the Night coming up on the 11th. It's same day as this, so you can make a full day out of the car show and then Light Up the Night over at the Brick at 6 to 9. Yeah, it's a big deal. Petting zoo, everybody loves those. Even though adults like petting zoos, that's very therapeutic. I don't know what it is. Or therapeutic. Get the pun, Josh? No, pretty bad, huh?
Anyway, I don't have a sound effect for that one.
Anyway, food trucks, and they're going to have vendors and all sorts of stuff, and it's a pretty big deal. Lisa does a really good job, and Miranda, her social media, I don't know what you call her, just she does everything over there. She and her sister worked there, and they were just very great guests, and they were very enthusiastic about this. They also have coming up pretty soon in September, they're going to have a golf tournament. In June, they're going to have a pickleball tournament, so they're pretty active, So also, we have Vineyard Vibes on the 26th, 3 to 7 over at Lost Oak Winery. I'm sure everybody in town's been there at least once, even the teetotalers, even the Baptist deacons. It's non-alcoholic wine. Yeah, it's your brother. I got you. Okay, I won't tell. Yeah, that's what they say about us Baptists. We don't recognize the Pope, the Koran, or each other at the liquor store. So, yeah, there we go. All right. Vineyard Vibes, BTX.com is the website. It's a big deal. Amber and Kelly do a great job. Amber Case and Kelly Alexander do a great job. They won a nonprofit of the year, and I believe Kelly, if I recall, won an award as well. So they do great work. So check out their website. Click on the QR code. It's $25. If you buy now, $30. If you buy then at the gate, which is they'll be glad to take the extra $5, I'm sure. It's a pretty big deal.
Talking about all my friends today.
Yes, it's a lot going on. Yeah, and then this is the group I'm with, the Burleson Opportunity Fund.
Yes.
You know them too.
I sure do.
You probably know Patsy Dumas, right?
Oh my goodness, who doesn't know Patsy?
That's exactly right. We say, look, when I go and try to raise money, I say, look, you can talk to me, or you can talk to Patsy, and you'll be, Patsy will come in, and you'll just and you hand over the check,
Exactly.
she is the fundraising all-time champ. All right, but anyway, ours is going to be on May 1st on a Friday, a golf tournament starting at 9:00. It's $800 for a team, $200 individually. We still have some sponsorships going on. A couple of weeks, going to have our president of our board, Daniel Pinnacus, on to talk about all this. This is one of our fundraisers. The bigger one we do is in October at that breakfast we do, and that's a big deal. And we have a lot of obligations, so put it that way. So we really need to push on this to make sure it works, because I taught at Hill College for 23 years at night classes, or doing enrollment at my BISD days, but I taught at night forever as well. And a lot of my kids were Opportunity Fund kids. And then when I retired from teaching at the high school, and I was teaching during the day at Hill, I would say about 2/3 of them were Opportunity Fund kids. So
Nice. Very nice.
a lot of communities don't have
a lot of
that.
good. No, they do not.
Well, a lot of communities don't have friends of the library either. I don't know what the status of the library is in our neighboring towns, but I know that I feel blessed to live in a community that we have these organizations like yours that were supporting.
Thanks.
Well, it's supporting not just the library; it's supporting this community, the parents and the kids, or if you're new to town, it's a good place to go and kind of get acquainted with what's going on in town.
That is our heart.
Yeah, libraries are they're a special place. They really are. It's not just because of the learning and the knowledge, but it is almost in a lot of communities the crossroads of the town.
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
And we even sponsored a group from the Van Cliburn piano concert, and we had a piano in the library, but we couldn't have it in our meeting room because it doesn't accommodate that. So we put it in the main part of the library, right where the stacks are, and we had a concert here in Burleson, Texas.
With Van Cliburn participants?
Van Cliburn, the Van Cliburn part of that, their outreach.
Those aren't piano players; those are pianists.
They are amazing.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've watched them and heard them, and they're like, "How do you make your fingers move that fast?" And that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it's that's special.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time on the show, particularly when I talk to people that maybe more recent than I. When I moved here, I started teaching here in '88 and moved here in '91. Okay, and Burleson was a nice place, but there's not much going on.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't know if I even had a library, because I think the library was built in like 93, 94, something like that.
I think the first presence was in an old house, and then what is now the senior center.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact dates.
Well, but I just know there was not a library like we have now.
No.
And I don't mean just, with its activities, also just the structure, the facility. And as we get older, this town gets better. We're getting more and more, things here in town, and more people moving here. It's like it builds on itself. People move here, and it makes the library more popular. And as the library gets more popular, it becomes, Jeff will tell you, Jeff Kelly of the Weatherton Agency, by the way, will tell you that, these are the things that parents particularly look for. They look for quality of schools. They look for quality of police and fire services. And they also look for opportunities for their kids other than just, babysitting or whatever. And that, so y'all are making this town even that much more of an appeal for people to move here.
Well, good.
Yeah. We have to do this again sometime in the summertime, do you think?
Love it.
Okay, we can talk about what's going on then. You can talk about the progress y'all made towards these bins. We can talk about, the programs.
That'll be fun.
You can bring maybe a friend from the library or either, somebody from the library itself. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you coming. Josh, thank you for being so quick and nimble on the computer. Isn't he something? I mean, you hear about the young generation, and then there's Josh. All right.
Well, he's doing things in there that I can't do. So I'll give him that.
I know. I got to be nice to him because he'll make me look bad. If
Yeah, worst comes to worst, I can always,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Tomorrow I have Rich Hooper on from 88.3 The Journey. They're doing their fundraising coming up too. It's their quarterly pledge drive kind of thing. And, my wife loves 88.3 The Journey. Are you familiar with that radio station?
A little bit.
Yeah. It's a local Christian station, and a lot of people like my wife love it. I always apologize to Rich. I'm still stuck in the 70s, But there you go. But as far as that, it's always a great show because they do a lot of great stuff. I would, there's still a couple opportunities for you to get your name out there as far as your group. Have you gone to some of these Chamber of Commerce events?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, that's where I met up with the lady from Atmos at the Business Expo. The Chamber does some,
that's
some
we
great
met.
events.
That's how we met, yeah.
Friends of the Library are a member of the Chamber, and we're taking advantage of those.
Well, they do good work, too.
Opportunities.
Melissa and Candace will be on a week from, she'll be week from today. Yeah, actually, they're almost always on the first Monday of the month. So, because they got that honey tour coming up, and they always got stuff going on. Having those two on there is like, they start laughing and giggling. I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, it's my show, all right, dadgummit.
Well, in this community, you can be the Friends of the Library and bang your drum all by yourself, or you can join with others and promote their event, and then allow them to promote you. And it's a much better community when you do that.
Do you go to some of these business networking meetings? There's 3 or 4 of them.
When I was working, yes, I was very active in a weekly networking group, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm in one too. I'll bring it up Wednesday at our meeting. I'll say, hey, Friends of the Library need your help.
Okay.
And so,
thanks.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 11 with Rich. And I hope you'll have a great day and try to stay out of trouble and go read a book. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.